It's interesting the way you put the final part of it. I, frankly, now the uncertainty around this thing is killing more thoughts about the way forward than the things we have been told. First, it appeared so categorical that we're going to do without individual bondholders. Water under the bridge, because when pensions were removed, they were brought on board. And there is even the indication that treasury bills may also be on the horizon anytime soon. That may is the key word for government, especially when it's considering things. But the entire conversation around this bond has been one of secrecy, some level of shoving it down the throats of people, and also threats, which are indirect ways of doing this. So you are being coerced to take it whether you like it or not. And people do not have an option, but sometimes to buy into it. There is a limit to which you can compound problems on people. Inflation is taking a chunk out of people's investment already. Some people have also complained about even prior, and I heard what they call it, Professor Raymond Acquah explain how some people, even before this debt exchange conversation started, had lost up to 60% of the value of their investments.
Yeah.
That's what he said. So you think about it keenly. Then post that, you introduce a first one and a second one. Something that could have been breached by better negotiation with the people. And you see, they didn't start by saying we outrightly reject this. If you get a conversation, let's talk.
Exactly.
All the groups. So let's discuss this. Let's have a better way of going about it. Let all of us come to the table. Let's put our chips on the table. Let's have a meaningful conversation that impacts the lives of the people. But it's almost like you run down the economy. You pushed us into this ditch. But the same person is so arrogant that you're posturing on even how to deal with the solution. You want it to be all by yourself, acting like some demigods in action. But if you were indeed demigods, really you would have done a lot more better than this. It is increasingly becoming the case that people who were not concerned about politics feel so much affected by the decisions of government that they can no longer stand aloof. People that ordinarily you speak to, they say, oh, you know me, I mostly don't talk about these political issues. They are so worried because this is how they fed families and their dependents. And yet now it's so obvious that they will lose a lot in the process. If the estimation of Professor Raymond Acquah are clear, you are losing more than 66% of the value of your investment. Think about it for a second. Listen, they even proceed to say, if you had done a 100% haircut, mindful of the period you are doing this, it would have been better. That's how difficult you have actually put people's life in. And what did they do? How did they contribute to all of this? We are not having frank conversations that brings relief to the people. You may not be able to change this, but at least discuss with them. Let them know the actual state of the economy that's influencing your decision. Again, people have suggested that you can actually be quite discriminatory or isolatory in dealing with some people. So some say you exclude pensioners. That's the kind of proposal on the table. Is government considering it? Will government care about it? Is it that these people do not have the powers to declare on their own a strike? And they do not have the powers to say that we are going to embark on a demonstration? Or they have not reached that level? That is why they can receive this level of treatment. But you see, the way this country runs, when people talk about individual bondholders, they see them as a select few. These people, there are so many dependents on them. Yeah. So they are not the only ones suffering at the end of the day. Their dependents too are also suffering. A country like Ghana with such poor social system that if you do not take care, you cannot do any proper surgery in this state without support.
No.
Yeah. No proper treatment without support. Every single week, change the number of people who are soliciting for money here and there, even on social media, for one procedure or the other. But they are soliciting from the rest of us who are supposed to be sharing with them. But if the rest of the people are also having this level of difficulty, who is sharing and who is intervening? So this has big social consequences for all of us. There's also one thing that we are, see, if you put even aside individual bondholders, we are forgetting the fact that people believe in the financial system is based on trust. Trust that government bonds were safe. Trust that one, it can never go wrong. In fact, that conversation they'll tell that, yeah, government will always pay. Even with an interim problem, government will always pay. But now, if they are going to lose trust in that system again, which one will be left? Because not long ago, we did the financial sector cleanup that took away some people's trust in the system. There are some people who had to actually go into a bank that they had never known. They had never gone to pick up forms to be part of. Payment to some of the people are still not being made. And yet, we are still continuing the system. And you ask the question, what is the alternative to the person who wants to invest in this republic?
None.
I mean, you quietly ask yourself, all the talk we did about, no, you have to bring your money here. We are building a better financial system. We are improving it. And we are making it better. Ghana is an icon in the space on the African continent. Do we really feel we can say the same now? And people have even suggested alternatives to our current IMF program and the discussions. But we are so tunnel vision that we cannot consider any options. There's a certain arrogance in how we are implementing this, which is very much unacceptable to people. This is not like government deciding that, oh, well, even though I collected your taxes, I want to do with it what I want. These are people's money. You want them to have an agreement with you on when you are going to pay because you cannot pay. And that's the level to which you, the person who's owing people, should come to and come and appreciate the difficulties they are going through. I am insisting, and I support those who say a further extension is required. But I'm insisting that the way things are going, to avoid every single level and the difficulties that come with it, every group that's relevant in this space should have representatives, and the government should have an open and frank conversation with all of them.
Exactly.
And this may take a week, it may take days, it may take different negotiations, but at least the people of this republic will come to the table to understand where we are properly and the things that need to go, because something must give.
We must collectively agree on the way forward.